Today, confessions of a software developer. Now, the other day I was working with some outside developers and I was getting kind of annoyed at them. I was like, what you guys, this and that. And then I was thinking like, am I as a software developer guilty of the same things that they're doing? And after a long look in the mirror, I decided that probably yes, I am guilty of some of these things myself. So today I want to confess and share with you some of the things that I'm doing that kind of annoys me about others, and I probably shouldn't be doing it as much as I am. That's what we're talking about today. Now, the first and obvious place to start is using end users as testers. And we know it's wrong, users don't like it, no one likes it, but it happens. So what's the proper way of handling your problem if somebody reported it to you? The developer should replicate the problem, make sure, yes, they are getting the same error as the user, make a fix, retry the same action, make sure it actually works now, and then maybe do some additional testing around it to make sure they didn't break anything, when they were touching the code. So ideally, that should be the process. But oftentimes we just get a request as a developer saying, hey, we got this thing broken, can you fix it? And quickly take care of the fix and just reply back, okay, try now. Like, did you fix it? Did you not fix it? Did you confirm that it works now? What are you telling me? And sometimes developers may not did all the steps, that I explained before, and they just kind of, I see, I think this is where the issue changed, a couple of lines. Okay, try now. The one I'm usually guilty of this is when I'm doing something else. I'm on a different part of a program, I'm doing something else, and somebody emails me saying, hey, can you add a feature? Can you take care of this bug fix or something like that? And you're like, oh man, come on. I'm like, my brain is somewhere else. I'm trying to develop this cool new thing. I'm doing something else. And I have to go back to old code and just change something. So I go back and like, all right, here's the fix. Just go try, go do it. I got to get back to doing whatever. Is it the right thing to do? No, but that happens. It's something that I shouldn't be doing. And I, legitimately try not doing it as much, as possible. But on occasion, I do have to ask a client to do a test because maybe I don't have the exact data they're using, or I'm not seeing the error that they're seeing, and I only suspect where the problem might be. The next thing is writing manuals. No one likes writing manuals, especially programmers. Like, I do it by myself, so it's an extra hassle to now start documenting a process or write down, instructions to the software. Part of it comes from using, smartphones, right? Because smartphone software never has any manuals. It's all meant to be used intuitively, right? If you can't figure out the application, you did a bad job at writing it. And that's what I try to do myself, but obviously that's not the case. Things need to be explained. Because of that, I substitute writing manuals for video manuals, and not everyone likes them, but some people really do. And what I do is I walk through the process of performing a specific task, and while I do that, I explain different options. That's how I would want to learn the software, and that's how I try to teach other people to use it. Now, I do document software, but not as much as I should. And if you ever worked with an internal development team on some kind of internal application, you never get anything written down. They're like, let me just do a screenshot, I'll show you how that works, and done, move on, So that's also bad. And then what happens is the people who use the software, they write documentation as to what the workflow is, and then they write down all the steps in there. So that's another way this is being handled, which of course isn't the best way. And the last thing I do that probably bigger companies don't do is change design of my application as I basically develop it. Now, I'm sure with the bigger companies, there's more like specs written down and a bunch of developers who follow the steps and all that. At least I think that's how it works. When somebody asks me, like, all right, we need a tool to do X, Y, Z. And so I start writing it, and I have an idea in my head how things should be done. But then maybe halfway, I'm like, you know what, that's kind of clunky. I don't know if this is going to work too well. Let me try something else. And I start kind of coming up with different ways of accomplishing the same thing. So I'm changing my design, I change how I write code, and I change it as I'm basically doing. And it is probably bad programming practice. Now, the other time I change my application while I build it is when something doesn't work. Sometimes you have an API that you're using and something should be working, but it doesn't. Or maybe you're stuck, you can't figure something out, maybe some approach isn't working. you just basically stuck and you can't get it to work. And you're like, all right, scrap this. We're doing a completely different approach here. Now, again, I don't know what bigger companies would do in such situation. Would they completely throw away what they've written and start over in a different direction or something else? But this is what happens to me often. I either get stuck, or the thing that I'm trying to build is getting to be too clunky or doesn't work as it should, and I completely redesign my application while I'm basically in the middle of building it. So those would be my confessions about software development. If you're working with developers and there's something that really annoys you, put it in the comment section, let me know about it. Don't forget to follow on LinkedIn, subscribe on YouTube, and I will see you on another video.